This week we're not going to be doing that much Gemara. I'm just going in 1 minute, just in 1 minute, just so we have the flow. Just for the flow.
You're late.
Just for the flow. Let's go. Here Rabbi says the Gemara, Amar Rava, Shtaim Gilchasa and Mishlishas Afilu Tepach. You need to have 2 walls that are 2 proper walls, and the 3rd wall can be a Tepach. Amar Rava, Rava says, we'll go through it and we'll try just to speak everything quickly. V'chein l'Shabbos. This sukkah works for the Shabbos of sukkah also. Why? Because we say migud have a daifin in the sukkah, since we know that it works for a regular sukkah. This two and a tefach have a daifin in the Shabbos. It's also going to be a good wall for Shabbos. And we spoke out the concept of migu. Migu means if it's Shabbos today and for sukkah purposes the wall is good, then it has to work for Shabbos also. You can't be one day it works halfway. It can't be, says the Gemara, Esvei. So we apply a concept of migu. Migu means if it works to serve for sukkah purposes, it's got to also function for Shabbos purposes today as well.
Vice versa.
Esvei frek the Gemara.
Also the opposite way.
Abaye. Want to see it? Esvei Abaye asked a question on Rava. Oh, mi amina migu. Do we really say migu? Do we really say that if it works for half, it's got to work? If it works for sukkah, it has to work for Shabbos? Vatanya, we learned in the Raisa, daifin sukkah k'daifin Shabbos. A wall of sukkah is like a wall of Shabbos, which really means that we wrote on the side yesterday. Daifin sukkah k'daifin Shabbos. That vertical poles and horizontal ropes can be used as walls for your sukkah. Although it's not a proper wall.
It has to be pole. It has to be poles for Shabbos.
Which Rabbi say it really means that this would work on a sukkah of Shabbos. On a sukkah of Shabbos, do we have a migu? What's the migu? We allow that just as for Shabbos, Rameir for Shabbos, you're allowed to have horizontal ropes or vertical poles going all around. So if it works for Shabbos, it works for sukkah also.
Can I help?
Okay, good. You say, fine. So long, you can't have space from one corner to the next. Here we go. Everybody say this is the line of the whole share is based on this line. Shabbos al sukkah. Shabbos is more stringent than sukkah. Shabbos ain't any terrace. Shabbos is only permitted. If the filled-in wall is greater than the space of all the wall together, if you were to add up all the filled-in space, the standing wall, it has to be greater than the empty spaces. That's a halacha about Shabbos. Again, Shabbos is stricter than Sukkah. How? Shabbos needs to have oimed, means standing part, actual wall. Meruba, more ala paretz, more than the open space. Masha ain't even Sukkah. Sukkah can have more open than closed. Klar?
Yeah.
Now that statement we're going to analyze right now. What does it mean that Shabbos is more stringent? Which Shabbos is more stringent? The Gemara assumes it means every Shabbos. Says the Gemara. Oh, my love, does this not mean you say Shabbos to Sukkah? That Shabbos of Sukkah is greater as Sukkah over regular Sukkahs. Shabbos of Sukkah is stricter than a regular Sukkah. Because on Shabbos it needs to be more closed. And on Shabbos of Sukkah, it needs to be more closed, but a regular Sukkah does not need to be more closed. Regular Sukkah can be open. We don't say migu. Why do we say migu? How do you question mark? Because you see we don't say migu. How do you see that we don't say migu? Because for a regular Sukkah, it can be more open than closed. For Shabbos of Sukkah, we say it doesn't work. So if it works for Sukkah, it doesn't work for Shabbos automatically. So therefore, we see clearly that we don't say migu. Yeah.
Yes.
Mary, you good?
Look.
Mary, please mute yourself.
The Gemara says, no, you misunderstood that statement. When we said Shabbos is greater than Sukkah, you misunderstood it. You understood it the wrong way. Read it the other way. Lo Yisera Shabbos Dama, a regular Shabbos is stricter as Shabbos to Sukkah. More than Shabbos to Sukkah. Before we read it the other way. You got that? Before it was the opposite. Shabbos to Sukkah is stricter than regular Sukkah. No, now we're saying a regular Shabbos is stricter than a Shabbos of Sukkah. Which means that a regular Shabbos, it needs to be more closed. Shabbos of Sukkah can be more open. Reb Meir, how can it be more open on Shabbos of Sukkah? A regular Shabbos is strict. How can it be more open on Shabbos of Sukkah? Mayor?
Yeah.
We're
Because two of the tefach could work.
Wait, no, we're saying right now that the open spaces and the closed spaces, that Shabbos is stricter. A Shabbos of Sukkah is stricter than a regular Shabbos. Shabbos of Sukkah. Again, the Gemara says
A regular Shabbos is more strict.
no. A regular Shabbos is stricter than a Shabbos of Sukkah.
Shabbos of Sukkah.
Because a Shabbos of Sukkah can be more closed, and a regular Shabbos of Sukkah. I'm sorry, a Shabbos of Sukkah can be more open, and a regular Shabbos has to be closed.
Why? Doesn't mean.
Now I don't get it. Why do we allow a Shabbos of Sukkah to be more open? Why are we allowing that kula? If a regular Shabbos has to be more closed, why does a Shabbos of Sukkah allow it to be more open? Because we apply a boy side. Because we're applying a migu. Because a regular sukkah can be more open, so then migu on Shabbos of sukkah is also going to work for Shabbos to be more open.
And not regular Shabbos.
Yes, exactly. So the reason why Shabbos of sukkah is stricter than the reason why a regular Shabbos is stricter than Shabbos of sukkah is because Shabbos of sukkah is using the migu to allow more open than closed. So right now we see, yeah.
What the? Why did you leave?
You jumped. You checking the donations.
No. I was calling. What's his name? Is this Ellie? Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
You only say migu lahakel because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, because Shabbos has one din, Shabbos Sukkah has another din.
Yeah. Exactly, because it works. It works halfway. It works all the way. Here we go. The bite site. Back on.
I think
Back on. Okay. Says okay. Ihachi. Rabbi say, look what this ihachi really means. What this ihachi means. Okay, Mayor, you're back on. So Rabbi say, now that we clarified, now listen to this. When we
Mayor, if you don't know the answer, don't hang up. Just say you don't know.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Gavaldik. Rabbi say.
I can't get Ellie on this one.
Rabbi say.
I'll see the video later.
1 second. Let's stay on. Listen to this.
Next step.
Iachi really means right now. Again, if I tell you this right now, on this line, Rabbi say, Shabbos of Sukkah, a regular Shabbos is stricter than a Shabbos of Sukkah. So when we said Shabbos is stricter than Sukkah, how do you understand that line?
Regular Shabbos.
A regular Shabbos is stricter than the Sukkah of Shabbos. So we're comparing stringencies and leniencies about Sukkah of Shabbos. If you want to analyze the nuances, the differences about Shabbos and Sukkah,
And other stuff.
tell me other things as well. If so, if you're going to tell me,
It doesn't only say that.
right, if you're going to tell me that there are differences between Shabbos and Sukkah and all year round. Told me, listening now, he also told me, Yisera Sukkah de Alma, just like a Shabbos is stricter than Shabbos of Sukkah, told me also that a regular Sukkah is stricter than Shabbos of Sukkah. Why is that? Why? The Ilu Sukkah de Alma, if you have a Sukkah de Alma, that's a Mavoy, and you have to have this in, that's a Mavoy. A Sukkah de Alma, that's a Mavoy. Excuse me, a regular Sukkah, that's like a Mavoy, which is a whole parallel walls. Boy, Tevach Seichek. It needs to have a tefach soichik as the third wall. The ilu sukkah the Shabbos, but sukkah Shabbos loy boy tefach soichik. It doesn't need a tefach soichik if you have a mavoy. Visagi and it's enough belechi to have two parallel walls and a lechi, which is a pole. You can have a pole. You can have a pole acting as the third wall for regular Shabbos. A pole could act as a third wall for Shabbos.
You see that Shabbos is more
Now, the atu the amit, because you're the one that says, you Rabba, you say, Siga Chagabi Mavoy, if you put schach on top of a Mavoy, Sheyesh Lechi Kasher, it's Kasher for Sukkah. It's Kasher for Sukkah. So I don't get it right now. So why didn't we also list the Chumrah of regular Sukkah on Shabbos of Sukkah? A Shabbos of Sukkah, you're allowed to use a Lechi. Shabbos of Sukkah, you're allowed to use a Lechi. A regular Sukkah, you're not allowed to use a Lechi. If you have a mobile, you're not allowed to use a lechi. Right. A Shabbos sukkah, you're allowed to use a lechi. Why? Now, I want everybody to think for a second. Everybody think for a second. Why on Shabbos of sukkah are you allowed to use a lechi?
Because you do migu from Shabbos to
Migu from Shabbos
The Shabbos of
The sukkah. If for Shabbos you're allowed to have a lechi, then Shabbos and sukkah you're also allowed to have a lechi. So why did you Rava say that? You Rava, if that's really what you meant, why didn't you say this chumrah also?
Because we're mentioning chumras.
The Gemara answers. Hahu, that the halacha of lechi. Hahu, that halacha of lechi lo yitzricha lei. You don't need to say it over. You know why?
That it works on Shabbos.
You don't need to say that it works on Shabbos of Sukkah. You don't need to say that you apply it from Shabbos to Sukkah. Why not? Hashta now, mi kilta l'chamirta. You're taking halachas of Sukkah and you're using it by Shabbos. Which halachas? The halacha of a tefach. The halacha of the open walls. You're allowing that to work. You're saying halacha from Sukkah, a leniency. You're learning from a leniency to strict. Because you're learning from Sukkah to Shabbos. You're saying if something works for Sukkah, Sukkah is generally more lenient. Sukkah, the halachas of Sukkah is not like Shabbos. Shabbos is covered.
So if we say dear Migu, then
so if we apply Migu from Sukkah to Shabbos, if Sukkah, which the halacha, which in the Torah Sukkah is not so chamer like Shabbos, yet you're allowed to apply it from Sukkah to Shabbos. If the walls of Sukkah, you're learning the walls of Shabbos
on Sukkah Shabbos.
On Sukkah Shabbos, mechamirta lekilta, to learn from Shabbos lekilta to Sukkah, to teach the halacha of lechi like kol shkein, isn't that pashut?
We don't
Of course.
need amigo.
You don't need to. Yeah, of course. You don't need to say it. You don't need to say it. You don't need to say it. Is it clear, Rabbi Say?
Gufa.
New Gemara today. This Gemara is like Gufa Amar Rava.
Building on the last line.
Yeah, this Rabbi Say, Rava right now made a statement. Rabbi Say, Rava made one statement. Rabbi Say, this Gemara, Rava made a statement. What was Rava's statement in our past Gemara? That you're allowed.
Migu for Shabbos.
That you're allowed to use a doifin. No, tefa.
What? Lechi. We learned the
Amar Rava. Oh, one second. Rabbi Say, shh. Let's go on.
No, explains the rest.
Yes.
Okay, Rabbi said, everyone's ready for this? Rava started our Gemara with a statement. May, are you ready? Rava started Gemara with a statement. What was Rava's statement? The first thing we said today? That you're allowed to use a tepach from Sukkah to Shabbos. That it also helps for Shabbos to Sukkah. Keep that in mind. Gufa, Amar Rava. Now look what we're saying. Okay. Now we're analyzing the last thing Rava says. Gufa, Amar Rava. Rava says, Sikech agabe mavoy. Gufa, Rabbi say, you should always know it refers back to something that was just said. Gufa means we're going to discuss something that was already said. Gufa. Sikech agabe mavoy. Okay, it says the Gemara. Gufa, Amar Rava. Rava says, the change of maybe Rava. Sikech agabe mavoy. If you put schach on top of a mavoy,
It's Rabbi, it's not sure.
sheyesh lechi, right? If you put schach on top of a mavoy, sheyesh lechi. Let's say you have a mavoy that has a lechi, keshera. The sukkah is kasha.
Only on Shabbos of Sukkah.
Because of the Migu.
Keshera, very good. Keshera, it works for Shabbos of Sukkah. You should write that. Keshera for Shabbos of Sukkah because of Migu. Write that line in. It's keshera. It's good for Shabbos of Sukkah because of Migu. Meaning this is really a Shabbos halacha. Lechi is a Shabbos halacha. And we're allowing it to also work on Shabbos sukkah. Meaning if you're in a sukkah that has a lechi, has a third wall, you're in a good sukkah. You're in a bona fide sukkah. You can now make a baruch atah Hashem, leishem sukkah. Okay?
Well, not because of the migo, because of the kalachayim.
The Kavachayim meant that if you say migo here, they can say migo there.
Then we don't even need the migo. That was the whole. That's what Gemara saying. You don't have to say.
No, you don't have to say it, but because it's
You should say still using migo.
Yeah. Siga chagam mavoi. If you put schach adam mavoi shisha lecha lechi keshera, it's kosher for Shabbos and Sukkah because of migu. Another thing, Amar Rabba. Siga chagam pesi b'rois. If you put schach on top of well boards. Reb Yehuda, would you remember? You have by us for discussion? Apasi Royce. Look for 1 second. I'll tell you very quickly.
Apasi was the three-sided thing.
Apasi Royce means that they take basically. They had a well in the middle, so it's called well boards, and they want to take water from the well out to the Rishus Rabbim. So the way you're allowed to create, you make four small walls. Tevach, right? Okay. Sikech, if you put out Sikech agabe pesi b'rois, if you put schach on top of pesi b'rois, kishera, it's kosher for Sukkah of Shabbos. For Sukkah of Shabbos because of migo also. Vitzricha, you ready for this? Rabbi say. Vitzricha, you ready? You need all three cases. You need to teach all three cases. What's I run the side? You need to teach all three cases. One is the tefach wall. The tefach wall. Two is the wall boards.
Tefach wall by what?
Tefach wall that it works for Shabbos and Sukkah. Remember that? Tefach wall that it works for the wall boards and the lechi. Right?
One is what?
The tefach wall is good for Shabbos and Sukkah. The well boards is good for Shabbos and Sukkah, and the lechi is good for Shabbos and Sukkah. So you react right then in just the three things, because b'tzricha is you need all three things, because it's so kedai to have that in.
What was the third thing?
One is b'tzricha. You need to teach all three. The tefach board that it works for Shabbos and Sukkah. So the tefach board, the lechi, and the pasi b'royis, it all works for Shabbos and Sukkah.
The trova, it's not shred at all.
Right.
The whole Gemara,
Right.
it can't be has to have the in a row.
Okay, so b'tzricha you need to teach all three. Why? Is it clear, Rabbi Say? Why? And we're only going to focus on two now. We're going to ignore the tefach. We're going to focus on two. We're going to focus on the lechi and the well. B'tzricha, and you need it. Why? B'tzricha, and you need it. The ashmina mavoi. If you just teach the halach of a mavoi with the lechi, right? Put a comma over there. I would say, I wrote in the words, I would say that is kosher.
That's good.
Right. If you just teach the mavoi, which is the lechi, I add in the words. I would say that's good. Mishum the ikar shtei defanis mal yosa. Because those have the ikar, there is shtei defanis mal yosa. You have two proper walls. In a mavoi, you have two proper walls.
It doesn't say kehelchasa.
You have two
Last
proper
time it said
walls.
with the right angle to kehelchasa.
So you have two proper walls. Good? Yeah, Klar Rameir? Avagabe Pesi Berois. Pesi Berois, the Leka Shtei Defanes Mal Yasa. You don't have two proper size walls. Pesi Berois is every wall is a 1 amma by 1 amma. 1 amma by 1 amma. Emaloi, maybe that's not kosher sukkah. Maybe a Pesi Berois is not a kosher sukkah because you don't have two proper walls. You have 4 small walls.
You have no good walls.
You have no good walls, exactly.
1 hour by 1 hour.
V'yashminan pasi b'rois, and if you teach me pasi b'rois, the well boards, and that's a good sukkah, I would say that's good. Mishum de'ika shem arba defanes, because at least they have a name of 4 walls. You're right. It's not 4 walls, halacha walls, but it still is looked at. Oh, this is it's enclosure from all 4 sides. It's enclosed by 4. Right?
Know that's the halacha by there, so by default.
No, but you look at it and we say practically it's got 4 walls.
It's not good walls.
You're right.
It is good
Yeah.
walls.
It's not like
Abel.
For
It's like
Nehru.
Abel see. Oh, you ready? Abel sika chagabe mavoi. But putting sach on top of mavoi. The like a shame arbeit finish. It doesn't have the name of 4 walls. It's not called 4 walls. That's sukkah. People don't say that's 4 walls. A maloi. Maybe that's not good. That's why I need to say it. You ready for this? What I say? Vi ashminan hani tarti. And if I just said these two, what are these two? These two are lechi and pasi b'rois, and not the case of tefach, right? Vi ashminan. This is the last line of what I say. Hani tarti. If I just say lechi and mavoi, and not the case of a tefach sukkah, right? V'yashmin and hani tarti. And if I just teach these 2 cases, what are these 2 cases? Pesi b'rois and a lechi. Everybody say, where's Pesi b'rois and a lechi learned from?
Pesi Berois or Mavoi?
Yeah, and mavoi. Pesi b'rois and
Shabbos to
mavoi.
Sukkah.
Regular Shabbos.
It's learned from Shabbos to apply it to Sukkah, right? If I just say
Regular
the
sukkah.
right. If the Shabbos is Sukkah, then you can work.
Regular sukkah.
Oh, 1 second, hold on. V'yashmin and hani tarti. And if I were to just say these 2, ready? Mechamirta lekilta. You ready for this? I would say you can learn from Shabbos to Sukkah. Mechamirta lekilta. I would say you can learn from Shabbos to Sukkah.
That's since they're good for Shabbos.
Right, because Shabbos is strict. and Sukkah is lenient. So if it works for Shabbos, I'll take it work for Sukkah. That's not a problem. Avol. Mikilta l'chamirta. To learn the tefach wall from Mikilta, from Sukkah. L'chamirta, to learn it to Shabbos. To learn the tefach wall from Sukkah. To apply it to Shabbos. Emaloi, I would say you can't do that. You can't learn from Sukkah to Shabbos. From Shabbos, I can learn Pesi Mirois. I can learn Pesi Mirois, and I can learn Mavoi because it works by Shabbos. It can work by Sukkah. But to say Mikil Chamirta, to say a Tefach wall, what?
If we only knew those.
If we only knew those two, I would say those two. That's why Rava has to teach a third case. The third case is the case of Tefach wall, and if the Tefach wall works with Sukkah, we have to speak out that it works with Shabbos also. Rabbi say, Baruch Hashem, we got to the two dots here. Tomorrow we'll go a little bit weiter, but